Hi, Connect Church family. Today we're gonna start a new segment, and we're gonna title it "Kitchen Table." I'm in my kitchen, and today I have the privilege of having Andrea with me. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Pastor Yanni.
The reason why we are sitting at our kitchen table, because many times that's where we have the most important conversation in our families. And I just wanted to have Andrea today to kind of talk about recent events. Let's talk about racism, and because that's been at the forefront of the news these days. What are your thoughts?
I'm actually very hopeful, believe it or not. I think that I'm reminded of during the civil rights movement, even though I wasn't alive during that period of time. But when I look at pictures, when I look at documentaries about that period of time, there was riots, there was rallies, there were protests, and it took that period of time for there to be change, such as the desegregation of schools. Had that movement not happened, maybe schools would still be segregated. So I'm hopeful, and I actually have faith that what's happening right now is a movement in the right direction, and that there will be some kind of change.
Awesome. So where do you think what's the next, or where can we go from here as Black people or as a church?
I think first we need to, we're not putting each other down, that we don't have issues such as shadism or colorism within our own group, because we can't expect others externally to accept us if we have difficulty sometimes accepting and loving one ourselves. So that would be one of the things. But also, because I work in schools, my big thing would be that there's a lot of ugliness in the media and around us, that we need to continue to lift our children, our young people up, lift them up to a place of excellence, so that regardless of what's going on in the news around them, that they still know that they're important, they're special, they're loved, reminding them regularly that they're children of God.
That's excellent advice to our congregation. I appreciate it. And so if you look ahead to the future, I know you kind of mentioned, talked about that, but what can be our hope for the future?
I think our hope would be just for change, and that everybody loves each other the way we're supposed to love each other. God put us on this earth as children of God to spread love and love thy neighbor. And I think that, again, with the ugliness around us, that we don't get consumed with it, that we continue to love thy neighbor. And we can't lump everybody in the same category. Not all cops are bad. Not all white people are bad. We can't think that way. We need to still be the Christians that we are and show love to one another, regardless of what is going on outside.
That's awesome. And what can I do for you as your pastor, or for others in our church? What do you think?
Oh my goodness, Pastor Yanni, you are you continue to show love and support to everybody. We need more people in the world like you. I think that as a white pastor in a predominantly Black church, I'm sure you have your own angst and wonderings about whether or not you're doing the right thing. And I can assure you that you are. The simple fact that you're having these discussions says a lot about you as a person, as a leader. You can't really do more than you're doing. I love you. My family loves you. And I'm sure we're not the only ones.
Well, thank you, Andrea. I really appreciate that. And
I just add one more thing.
Go ahead.
Just for us as a church to be careful how much time we spend on media. There's a lot of news out there. Just like when we were immersed in the coronavirus, there is so much negative news which can cause angst. So take in just a little bit so we know what's going on in the world around us, but we shouldn't be watching the news nonstop because it's not good for our psyche. Use some of our time immersed in our Bibles to gather our strength and stay positive that way.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrea. I really appreciate your input, and God bless us all.
God bless.